Moving right along, this is WAMAP Unit 3 review questions for the midterm. This is problem number 9. We're going to solve the equation below. 3 times x minus 2 minus 6 is equal to 28x minus 212. So what we're looking for is x. We're going to solve for x. So what we always want to do is simplify or expand. And we'll distribute the 3 over the x and the negative 2 here, and then see how that looks. Okay, so 3x, and 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 minus 6, and that's equal to 28x minus 212. So we're going to combine like terms, and if you're not sure what that means, you can search that term at Khan Academy, combine like terms. That just means similar terms. So that means we can combine anything that has the same unit. So we can consider this x here to be a unit, that variable. So we can combine that 3 and that 28. And then regular old numbers, of course, can be combined. They're just generic. So let's go ahead and do that. We have 3x, and then we got 2 negative 6's. So when the signs of two numbers are the same and you add or subtract them, you combine the two numbers, basically add the numbers together, and keep the sign of the, you could say, of the bigger number. All right. So we got 6 and 6 is 12, and the bigger number, they're both the same number, but it's negative. So we got negative 12. And that's equal to 28x minus 212. Okay. So we'll just keep going on in this vein, combining like terms. And let's get rid of that negative 12. Let's add 12 to both sides. So negative 12, positive 12 cancel each other out, mutual self-destruction. And then we have negative 212 plus 12. Signs are different, so we're going to take the difference between the two numbers. And the difference between 212 and 12 is 200. And the number with the larger absolute value is 212. So that is the winning sign. So this becomes 28x minus 200 is equal to 3 times x. All right. So now what we want to do is move the 28x to the side. And so we'll subtract 28x from both sides. And 28x minus 28x is 0. So we have negative 200. And on this side, we have 3x minus 28x. And the signs are different, right? You could call this positive 3. So when the signs are different, we take the difference between the two numbers, which is 25. And then the number that has the larger absolute value, which is 28, is negative. So the negative sign survives. And we have negative 25x is equal to negative 200. And this is just too much negativity. So what we can do, really neat way to get rid of that negative, because when we solve for x, we always want to have one single positive x in our answer. And we're going to multiply both sides by negative 1. I guess if I do that, it'll look like I'm multiplying by negative 1. And that means we'll get 25x is equal to 200. And then we just want to do inverse operation thing. Let's use purple again. And we'll divide both sides because when we get to this point, we're wondering what's happening to the x. It's being multiplied by 25, so we're going to divide that by 25. Do that to both sides. So here these cancel out, leaving x, and that's going to be equal to 200 divided by 25, which is how much? If we divide the top and the bottom by 25. That's the same as dividing this fraction by 1. So it doesn't change the value, it just changes the units. It's like saying $1 is 100 pennies. So 200 divided by 25 is 8. 25 divided by itself is 1. and 8 over 1 is equal to 8. So this is our answer. X is equal to 8, and if you plug that X into this formula, the answer should be the same. Should I do that again? You can stop the video now if it's torture, but I'm going to give it a try. So 3 times 8 minus 2 minus X is equal to 28 times 8 minus 212. Okay, so according to PEMDAS, now that we have the 8, we've got 3 times 8 minus 2 minus 6. We should do this operation first, right? 8 minus 2 is in the parentheses. If you wanted to, you could actually distribute this. You could make this 24 minus 6, but it's just going to make you work with bigger numbers, and it's easier to do the subtraction, and you get 3 times 6 minus 6. And so we have to do the multiplication first. We got two operations now, multiplication here, not written, and subtraction here. Multiplication goes before addition or subtraction according to PEMDAS. So we're going to do 3 times 6 for 18 minus 6, and that evaluates to 12. So this side of the equation is 12. And over here we have 28 times 8 minus 212. Oops, that's weird. I just can't talk and I can't do it. Two things at once. So 28 times 8, let's see how much that much. It should be 12 more than 212. 8 times 28. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 6. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 6 is 224. Bingo. So then when we subtract 212 from this, 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. We do get 12. And 12 is equal to 12. And so we proved it was right. It took a little extra time. Probably you won't have time to do that on a test. So practice these a lot until you get really smooth with all the rules. They're going to throw you a couple of twists and turns each time. But if you can do all of the problems on this practice test well, then you should do fine on the midterm. Hang in there and let me know if you need help.